If you haven't watched my vocabulary video, I request you to go to it and watch today, right? It helps you understand what prefixes are, what suffixes are, what roots are. I'm sure that makes you an autonomous learner. Tomorrow, when you learn words, you know how to approach them, right? Fine. So this session is also going to help you. This is, I can say this is next level. This is going to help you learn words better, right? Now let me, so what are the objectives? What are we going to learn today? First, tell me how many of you know what a denotation is? How many of you know? Yes, don't know, I know. Give me reply. I know, I don't know. I have heard one time. Very good. Anyone? What are denotations? Very good. Let me explain. Most of you don't know. So when I say snake, let's say you don't know the meaning of the word snake. You open a dictionary. You look at the meaning. It's a reptile. It's a reptile. The dictionary definition is called denotation. Am I clear and straight to the point? The dictionary definition is called denotation. Am I straight to the point? The dictionary definition of a word is denotation. Right? Yes? Yes? Clear? Clear? Understood, right? Clear? The dictionary definition of a word is called denotation. Now, when I say he is such a snake, he's such a snake, you can't trust him. She's a snake, you have to be very careful. Now, what do I mean here? Do I mean that she's a reptile? Do I mean that she's a reptile? No, right? And that's called connotation. Now, are you all clear with, guys, are you all clear with the meanings denotation and connotation? Or shall I repeat? No, let me explain. When I said dog, the dictionary meaning is it's an animal. It's an animal. That's the dictionary meaning, right? Oh, he's such a dog. You don't know about him. No. Am I saying that he's an animal? No. Am I praising him? No. Am I criticizing him? Yes, I am criticizing him. So connotation is the emotion that is associated with a word, the kind of feeling the word generates. Is that clear? Denotation and connotation. Can I move on? Collocation. Now tell me, should I say pay attention or give attention? Now tell me, should I say pay attention or give attention? Should I say pay attention or give attention? Tell me. Should I say give attention or pay attention? Pay attention. Pay attention. Very good. Pay attention. Should I say name and glory or name and fame? Name and glory or name and fame? Which one is better? Name and glory, name and fame. Yeah, name and fame. Success and glory or success and name? What should I use? Success and okay. Yeah. Let's see this. Success and glory. Should I say success and glory or success and name? Which one is better? Yeah. Guys, is everyone, can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? Yes. Fantastic. People who can't hear me, very good. Thank you so much. Now listen to me. I'm going very slow deliberately. Can you please tell me the difference between denotation, connotation, and collocation? Is it very clear? The dictionary definition is denotation. How you use it in a context? Is it positive or negative? What thoughts are associated with a certain word? Are they positive or negative? That is connotation. Okay, connotation. Next, collocation. Co means together. Locate means to spot them. They are always spotted together. They're always spotted together, like name and fame, success and failure, right? Name and fame, success and failure, profit and loss, male and female, bread and butter, right? Etymology. Understand that words have origin. Where did it first start? How did it change gradually? What is the meaning of that word today? Right? So that's etymology, studying the origin of the word. Studying the origin of the word. Now we are also going to learn synonyms and antonyms. We're also going to practice vocabulary usage. Now, anyone has any questions before I move on? Anyone has any questions before I move on? Anyone can ask me. Anyone has any questions? Please feel free to ask me. Anyone? Yeah? Okay, people who raise their hand can ask me the questions. Are you clear with this slide? Oh, all. You want me to explain all again? Yeah? Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else? Okay, how many of you think that I should explain all? Yes or no? How many of you think I should explain all? Yes or no? Yes, no, 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 no. Most of them say it's clear. So most of them are saying no. However, I'm going to explain once before I move on, so there is no harm. Dictionary definition. Dictionary definition is denotation. Dictionary definition is denotation, right? That is denotation. Now going to the second one, connotation. How you use it in a context. Sometimes the way you use it can change the meaning. It can be positive, it can be negative. I see some red flags. I see some red flags when he was talking. Do I really mean that I'm seeing red flags? No. Here, red represents danger. But in general, red is a color. In general, white is a color. But white can also represent peace in a certain context. And red can also represent danger in a certain context. It depends on the way you use it, right? So the second one, connotation, means the usage of the word in the context. It can be positive, it can be negative. Third one, co-location. Co means together, locate means to spot. So co-location is words going together, right? Name and fame, success and glory, etc., etc. Next, etymology, origin of the word. What was the birth of the word and how are people using it now, right? I'm going to share a lot of resources. This is what I'm going to discuss. This is what I'm going to discuss with you in the next half an hour. This is what we are going to understand in the next half an hour, right? Now, can you all think, what do you think? What do you think is the difference between these words? You all can think. What do you think is the difference between these words? Can you all think? Home, dwelling, house, residence. Right? You all can think now. Okay, someone says home is where we stay. You can still think about it. Anyone? Okay, can you draw your home? Is it possible? Can you draw your home? Is it possible? Let me explain. When I ask you to draw, go. When I ask you to draw a house, can you do that? Yes, it has an entrance, right? It has a wall, right? It has a car parking area, right? House is physical structure. I repeat, Robert, house is something that has physical structure. But home is where you share emotion, where you share attachment, where you share love with your parents. That's home. Home is a feeling. Home is a feeling. Oh, sorry, my handwriting is really bad here. Okay, home is a feeling. Now, what is residence? I heard that you visited Namibia. Where did you reside? I heard that you visited India. Where did you reside? Right? A residence, relatively speaking, is a temporary place. Relatively speaking, from the given options, It's a temporary stay, relatively speaking. Now, dwelling, you have been staying there for quite some time. Your generations have been staying there. It's your birthplace. It's your habitat. It's your habitat. It's your birthplace. You turned your forefathers turned it into a shelter, a place to stay long, long back. People have been staying there for long. That's dwelling, staying there for long, long, longer than enough. Right? So this is the difference. Now quickly tell me, when we talk about emotions, which word do we use? When we talk about emotions, love, attachment, which word do we use? Quickly use the chat box. When we talk about emotions, love, quickly use the chat box and send me. I'm waiting for your answers. I'm looking at the chat box. Yeah, Abdul, very good. Very good. No, when we talk about emotions, Yakub, Suleiman Yakub, when we talk about emotions and feelings, look at the word. You have to select one of these. You have to select one of these words. When we talk about emotions and feelings, which word should I pick up? Home, right? When we talk about emotions, we should pick up home. Okay. When I asked you to explain the structure of the building, when I asked you to describe the structure of the building, which word do you use? When I ask you to describe the structure of the building, house. Very good. So home done, now house. Why are you still thinking about that idea for so long? Leave it. Or why are you, okay, or someone has been staying there for a long time. You know, generations have been staying there for a long time. It's your natural place. It's your habitat. Which word should I use? Yeah, dwelling. Now you visit a place and then you stay there. You visit a new place, not your native, you visit a place, then where do you stay? Right, fantastic. Now I want you to understand words have subtle differences. You should know that. And it comes with practice, right? You will slowly understand them. Now there is a reason why I'm teaching you these. Now tell me one thing. We have smell, odor, stench, fragrance. Which among them is positive word? Which among them has positive connotation? Okay, Jakub, house is something that has walls. House is something that has walls. Jakub has a doubt. He's still confused between, okay, home and house. Home is mental. I repeat, Jakub, home is mental. That is why when we say, I went to my house, we don't say I went to my home. We don't say to. Okay, Jakub, listen to me. I went home. I reached home. Feel home, meaning feel comfortable. I'm feeling home. Are you home? We don't use any preposition there, but we say, I went to house. This is my house. You can even structure it. You can take a picture of your house. But home is a place where you are building attachment. Okay, right? One is mental and emotional. Other one is physical. Is that clear? Thank you, Jakub. Thank you. Fine. Now I asked you a question. Among smell, odor, stench, fragrance, what is positive? Fragrance is definitely positive, right? You all message me. Fragrance is positive. What is definitely negative? What is definitely negative? What is definitely negative? Stench. If you go to a fish market, you won't feel excited. If you go to a meat market, wet market, you don't feel excited because the smell is really bad, right? Stench is complete negative. I want you to understand that a word can be always positive, a word can be always negative, and pick up which word is neutral, can be good, can be bad. Which word can be both positive, can be both negative. See, we say good smell, we say bad smell, right? So it can be both positive, it can either be positive or negative, right? Therefore, I call it neutral. Let's say N neutral, right? So odor can also be positive or negative. Therefore, I call it neutral. So Yeah, can be. Jakub should be either positive or negative. Yes, very good, Jakub. Jakub, I want you to understand that in certain context, a word can be positive, a word can be negative, but sometimes a word neutral, sometimes a word is neutral, right? Is that clear? That's what connotation is all about, connotation. Now, we know that red and white are colors. But when I say he is whiter than white, when I say he's whiter than white, or when I say, they represent color white, when it comes to fair dealings, I mean to say that they're very fair. Red can be a sign of danger. When I say he's such a donkey, I don't mean to say that he's an animal. When I say he's such a donkey, their donkey is used in a negative sense. So what did we learn in this slide? What did we learn in this slide? We learned that words carry positive and negative emotions, right? Certain words can be positive, certain words can be negative, certain words can be neutral, right? And depending on the context, the word can change its meaning. Now, can you identify the dictionary definition? Let's see how many of you can answer this. Can anyone? Can you answer this? Can anyone? Okay, let me explain. How many of you know what carnivorous is? Carnivorous. Yakub, can you answer? Abdul, Abbas, can you answer this? What is carnivorous? Yeah, very good. Very good. Car means flesh. Car means flesh. The root word car is flesh. I can tell you carnivorous, carcass, right? I can tell you incarnation, God incarnation. God incarnation is God in the form of flesh. Reincarnation is rebirth. You get flesh again. Okay. So carnal desires are physical desires, desires of your flesh. Therefore, car means flesh. In is in the form of, okay. Therefore, incarnation is endowed with flesh, right? Can you answer this? When you vocal, you say it. When you vocal, you say it. Voc means to call or say. Voc means to call or say. I repeat, voc means to call or say. What is convocation? What is convocation? College convocation. To call everyone together, because con means together. What is convocation? To call everyone together. Right? Voc means to call. When I say teaching is my calling, when I say teaching is my calling, I repeat, teaching is my calling. It means it is my primary job. When I say teaching is my calling, it's my primary job. Now, I play badminton now and then. I play football, but that's not my profession. That's my secondary. I play now and then for clubs, local clubs, just for fun, right? It's my secondary occupation. So let me explain. Occupation means your job. Occupation means your job, your work, right? No, it's not a trip. Bikisu. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing I'm wrongly pronouncing your name. Okay. Bilkisu. If I'm pronouncing your name wrongly, I'm really sorry for that. Vocation. That's a nice name though. Vocation is your primary job. Avocation is your secondary job. Okay. You want few more words? Listen to me very carefully. Vocal is to say. Vocal is to say. Revoke is to take back what you say. I repeat, to vocate is to say, okay, revoke. Revoke is to take back what you say. For example, I'm revoking what I said, meaning I'm taking back my words. Is my network bad? Can you guys hear me? Is my network okay? Say yes or no. Is my
yes,
network?
Sir, you're very much clear.
Okay. So to vocate, okay. To vocal, I repeat, to vocal, not vocate. To vocal is to express. To vocal. Vocal. I vocaled my opinion. What is revoke? Revoke means to take back. Revoke means to take back what you are saying. So now voke means call, vocation means calling. You don't know, I don't know whether you know or not. When we say playing cricket is my cricket is my calling. Politics is my calling. So, social service is my calling. Calling is, God has asked you to do that work. So vocation means your job, avocation is your secondary job. Now look at this. Virus, there is a root called virus. It means truth. Virus means truth. See, court has rendered its verdict. Let me explain. Court has rendered its verdict. What is verdict? The final truth. What is verdict? The final truth. When you say very good, it means truly good. When you say very nice, it means truly nice. Virus means truth. Right? Now, when I say veracious, if a person is veracious, he's always truthful. He always speaks truth. Are you veracious? Do you always speak truth? If a veracious person always speaks truth. Now remember, I shared some resources with you. I'm going to share more resources with you. If you check, you can learn more words through roots. Okay, this is a technique. This is one of the techniques. You can learn clusters of words using roots. So answer is this. Right? But tell me what's the answer? Tell me what's the answer? Can you? Do you know what's live? Alive. Live, alive. I'm asking you two words. Live, alive. When you see VIV, it means life. It means life. It means life. For example, see, live fish sold here in the market. Live fish. He's alive. He's alive. Now see, full of life. He's convivial. He's convivial. People are full of life. Okay, for example, vivacious lady. Vivacious, full of life. So VIV means life. What are vital signs? What are vital signs? Life signs. What are vital signs? Life signs. What is section? When I say I will divide you, when I divide you, I put you in different sections. When I divide you, I put you in different sections. Vivisection means cutting all live animals. Why? To do experiments. Vivisection. Tell me how many of you don't like performing experiments on live animals? You can say yes. You can simply type yes if you agree with me. You don't like performing experiments on live animals. Okay. Yeah. So let me explain. Jakub, Vivi, it's a Jakub. What I'm teaching today is called root words. Okay, I know many people are saying no, I don't like it. Some people say I love them. I love it. Cool. Let me explain. Vivi means life. Section means cut. Cutting live animals which are live and doing experiments on them is called vivisection. Wow. Abbas, excellent. Viviporous, OV, also related to life too. Let me explain. Abbas has asked me a beautiful question. Abbas, listen to me carefully. Viviporous, oviporous. What is oviporous? That which lay eggs. What is viviporous? That which give life to young directly. That which give life, because vivi means life. Because vivi means life. Viviporous is that which give birth to live animals. Okay, live young. Oviporous is that lay eggs like humans. Exactly. What is vivisection? If you're against, what is vivisection? Cutting animals and performing experiments on them. If you're against it, you can say you're an anti-vivisectionist. You are an anti-vivisectionist. Guys, listen to me. If you buy books, if you watch my YouTube video on vocabulary, I have mentioned a lot of resources. Watch that entire video. I repeat, if you watch my previous YouTube video, okay, in the Geetham website, if you watch my previous YouTube video, I mentioned a lot of resources that can help you do better in vocabulary related questions. Okay, I request you all to watch that video. Now tell me, who is an anti-vivisectionist? Who is an anti-vivisectionist? Can anyone tell me who is an anti-vivisectionist? Sergio, hi. Hi, Sergio. Now, can anyone tell me who is an anti-vivisectionist? Who is an anti-vivisectionist? Anti-vivisectionist, karma. Karma, let me explain. People who are against performing experiments on live animals are called anti-vivisectionist. Vociferous. Okay, now I'm teaching the next word. Now, do you remember I taught you voc means life. Voc, so sorry. Voc means your voice. Voc means voice or call. Please understand, root words have multiple meanings. Root words make our job easier. If you look at the resources that I shared in my previous videos, that makes your job really easy. Okay, voc means your voice, so or call. So shouting at the top of your voice when you say no, I am not going to do this. No, I haven't committed this crime. When you are shouting at the top of your voice, that's called vociferous. Therefore, what's the answer? Noisy. Right? Very good, Karma. Equivocate. I told you what is voc. Voc, voice, call, all related to speaking, okay? Because vocal. Now see, equivocate. Equi means equal. Equivocate. Give me 1 minute. Okay, now listen to me. So equivocate. Now tell me, are you serious about your life? Are you serious about your goals? What if you say yes? Yes. Okay, please look at the spelling. Dorji, sorry if I pronounce it in the wrong way. Yeah, the spelling, please check the spelling. Yes, the usage is correct. Good. Keep it up, Dorji. Now let me explain. Are you serious about your life? If you say yes, I am, that's good. If you say no, I am not, that's good. But what if you say, I think I'm serious, but sometimes I'm not serious? Yes, I am serious. Now, if you talk like this, it confuses people. You are equivocating. When you're equivocating, people don't understand what you're talking. It can be understood in two ways. It can be understood in two ways. It neither sounds like yes, nor sounds like no. Therefore, people are confused. Equivocate. I repeat, equivocate. Right? When your father says, did you drink alcohol? You speak all nonsense and say, actually, I went to my friend's house, etc., etc., etc. Therefore, finally, he doesn't understand what you're talking. You're attempting to conceal the truth, right? That's called you're attempting to conceal the truth. Tell me, did you propose that girl? Tell me honestly. Your father says, did you give her a letter? Now, what do you say? Yes. That's great. That's unequivocal answer. No, that's an unequivocal answer. But if you say, no, actually, I went to my friend said something, and if you keep spinning the story, if you keep saying something, if you keep beating around the bush without actually telling the answer, and then even if you say in a very confusing way, that's equivocate. Now, there is one word which is very negative in tone here. Can you identify that? There is one word, group, clique, gang, club. There is one word which is negative, absolutely negative. Can you identify the word and drop a message in the group? Oh, sorry, drop a message in the chat. Listen to me, a gang doesn't have to be always negative. A gang doesn't have to be always negative. That's a good gang. Very good, very good. Khadir, very good. Very good. Club can also be positive and negative. Club doesn't have to be always negative. Listen, this can be neutral, can be neutral, can be positive, can be negative. Club, yes, can be positive or negative. But clique is always negative. Very good, Robert. Keep it up. Yeshi, very good. Keep it up. Now, can you tell me which among them is negative? I want you to pick up only negative words. Only negative words. The second part. Interested, curious, nosy. Very good. Very good. This is negative. I'm sure gang of criminals. We usually say gang of criminals, but yeah, sometimes it can be used in a positive way as well, right? Now look at this. Now, can you tell me what's negative here? Negative. I want negative. Can you pick up that? Negative. Can you pick up the negative word? Anyone? Very good. Lackadaisical. Very lazy. Very lazy. See, when you're when you're sitting for your INSAT exam, sometimes you may not know whether the required word, you don't know the meaning of the required word in the blank, but you should be knowing whether the blank requires a positive word or negative word. Do you get me, guys? Listen to me very carefully. When in exams, you may not know what word exactly fits there. However, you know that this blank requires a positive word. This blank requires a negative word. And that's a very important skill, right? Now, look at the instruction carefully. Look at the instruction very carefully. I repeat, look at the instruction. We need absolute positive connotation. We need positive connotation. Positive. When I say positive, positive. You should not pick up a negative word in neutral. And remember, you should think from only the given options. He's so determined to kill me. Okay, listen. Determined can also be, it's a neutral word. I want a positive word. Think about it. Take one more chance. Obstinate is a very negative word. Let me explain. Obstinate means too adamant. Obstinate means too adamant. They won't listen to anyone. It's a very negative word. Ob means extreme. Ob means extreme. For example, observe, obedient, obese, right? Stin is like too strict. Obstinate is too strict. Okay. Stubborn is a negative word.
Determined.
So determined. What is determined? Determined can be positive or negative. She's so determined to kick me out of the group. She's so determined to kill me. Can be positive. She's so determined to achieve it. Can be positive, can be negative. But I want a positive word. I want out and out positive word. Why? Because look at the instruction. Then yes. Yeshi, let me explain. Tenacious means very persistent about something. You want to achieve it. You don't give it up easily. Tenacious, octopus has 8 tentacles. Octo means 8. Octopus has 8 hands. Octo means 8, right? Now it has tentacles. Octopus can hold something very strongly. If you're mentally that strong, if you are tenacious, you won't give it up easily. Look at the question. Most teachers think that Elsa is a very tenacious young woman. She won't give it up easily. Therefore, answer is B. Okay, I'm trying to help you understand that when you need a positive word, you should look for positive word. Now look at this. This is slightly difficult, okay, this question. See, we have to look at a positive word from the given context. Glared is negative. Therefore, that's not. Scrutinize. Glare is, when you look at someone very angrily, that's glared. Okay, when you look at someone very angrily, that's glared. Scrutinize is thoroughly check. Who is being checked here? No one is being checked. To scrutinize is to thoroughly check. No one is checking you here, right? Therefore, scrutinize is not your answer. What study? Studied, watched, both are very positive in the given context, relatively speaking. They are the only left options. Now look at this. Why do you think they have to study you? To study something is to understand the patterns. to go into the depth, to make notes, okay, to later discuss. This is study, right? You don't do that here. So therefore, watch is your answer, right? I know this is really difficult for you because I said positive, but the word watched is very neutral. Look at the available options. There are only 4 available options. Out of the available options, glared is negative, scrutinized is negative. C and D are very good, but D doesn't suit, doesn't get into the context. Okay, now pay a little more attention. Last 5 minutes. Okay, once I'm done with this PPT, we will go to, okay, the exam. You took the exam, right? We're going to discuss those questions. Now, what is the instruction? We need neutral connotation, neutral. So I think I don't like you. I hate you. I'm going to kill you. Look at the intensity. I think I don't like you. I hate you. I will murder you. Look at the intensity. I think I don't like you. Is intensity is here. When I say I really hate you, intensity is increasing. I'm going to kill you. Intensity is very high. We want something which is low in intensity. That is neutral connotation. That is neutral connotation. Very low in intensity. Now look at the question. The teacher's job is not as objective. Let me explain what objective. If you are very unbiased, Abdul, if you're very unbiased, that is objective. If you're always biased, that is, I repeat, if you always think from your perspective, let me explain clearly, guys. If you think emotionally, if you think only from your perspective, that is subjective. If you think neutrally, I repeat, if you think very, very neutrally, that is objective. Is that clear? Is that clear? Now, slanted is a negative word. Slanted is a negative word. Unfair is a negative word. Biased is a negative word. But we need Robert, how is my audio now? Is it fine?
Yes, sir. Fine.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Good. Robert, can you answer this question? Robert, you can speak. Anyone can speak. Anyone who's comfortable can speak. Don't worry. I'm not going to stress you, or I'm not going to target you. Sandia, can you speak? Yeah, you can speak. Someone raised hand. You can speak. Please come forward. Anyone who's interested can speak. Not a problem. Anyone is willing to come forward to speak with me? Okay. Fine. Look at this, subjective, right? So the instruction clearly says we need neutral connotation, which is why I chose subjective, because it is not negative in its tone. Look at the next one. Given the recent college standards, it seems as though anyone can get an advanced degree nowadays. So is it saying that the college standards are good or bad? First tell me, is it saying that the college standards are good or bad? Is it saying that the college standards are good or bad? Tell me. Bad. Very good. Now we need a word. Plummeting means a steep fall, extremely steep fall, plummeting. But that's very high in intensity. We need neutral connotation, neutral. I like you, I love you, I will die for you. Tell me which one is very neutral in its tone. I like you, I love you, I will die for you. Tell me which among them is very neutral in its tone. Yeah, very good. Of course, I like you is neutral in its tone. We want something like that. We don't want something with high intensity. Plummeting is steep fall. Plummeting is, Suleiman, plummeting is steep fall, right? So plunging is to dive deep, right? Demise, death can be demise, which is not suitable here. So decline is neutral. Therefore, that's my answer, because it clearly says that you need something neutral. Now tell me which among these two is negative. It's your turn now. You have to respond. Which among these two is neutral? Can you tell me which among these two is negative? Negative. Look at the instruction. Look at the instruction. A, B. A, B. Which one is negative? Nitpicky. Very good. Nitpicky is negative. If you are giving unnecessarily too much attention, that is nitpicky. If you are being very particular about every detail, if you're being particular with every detail, that is meticulous, right? Let's see the next one. Now, answer this. A stingy person, a thrifty person. Tell me which one is negative. Look at the instruction. I want negative, negative. So I can say this is negative. I can say, yeah, your answer here. Yeah, a stingy person. A thrifty person is very careful with his money. He saves his money. He uses when needed. But a stingy person, not even when he's in the deathbed, he will not take money. Not even when he's in the deathbed, he will spend money, right? Look at the next one. A conceited person, a confident person. Which one is negative? Which one is negative? Someone who's arrogant. Someone who's arrogant, right? Now answer this. A or B? An employee, an underling. Which one is negative? An employee, an underling. Now, guys, answer me. This is A, this is B. Which one is negative? Okay, now listen to me. Some of you don't know the meaning of underling. Do you? Some of you don't know, do you? But still you know that the answer is B. This is magic. This is how it works. Ali, do you get it? Ali, I'm trying to tell you, in the exam, you know that the blank requires a negative word. Then when you look at employee and underling, you know that it has to be negative. Therefore, I'll go for underling. Underling is a subordinate. Subordinate. Someone who's, we have superiors and subordinates, right? Someone who's below your rank is underling. Peculiar. Very good, very good. Robert, that's what is very important. Your elimination method. Excellent, Robert. Ability to eliminate is very important in your any competitive exam. Hi, Musa. Okay, now look at this. A peculiar object, a unique object. A peculiar, which one is negative? Which one is negative? Very good. Sandian, very good, very good. Peculiar is negative. Unique is positive. Look at this now. A finicky person, a discerning person. Which one is negative? A finicky person, a discerning person. A finicky person, a discerning person. No, a finicky person is negative. Let me explain. I'm not going to eat this food because it is not hot. I'm not going to wear this shirt because the color has changed. I'm not going to make friends with you because you change it the way you're talking. If you're finicky, you're too choosy, you're too particular about every small thing, right? And look at the last one, a discerning person. A discerning person. If a person is discerning, yeah, Sergio, I'm getting your charts now. Sergio, are you trying to talk to me? Sergio, are you trying to talk to me? You're getting my chats, yes. So a finicky person is someone who's too picky, too choosy, right? Annoyingly choosy. A discerning person is someone who can clearly distinguish two things. He knows the subtle differences between two things. Let's say you go to a shopping mall. Yeah, thank you, Sergio. Let's say you go to a shopping mall, right? Abbas, let's say you go to a shopping mall. You pick up two shirts. Listening to me, Abdul, Abbas, Musa, imagine you go to a shopping mall, you pick up a shirt and you pick up two shirts. You think they both are same. And then your father says, no, look at the shade, look at the border, look at the buttons. He shows you that minute differences. He has that eye for detail. That person is a discerning person. That person is a discerning person. One who sees those minute, subtle differences beautifully. Now, something is wrong with the first one. Can you fix it? Something is wrong with this first one. Can you fix it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Patrick, tell me, you have something to say? It's pay attention, not give attention. It's pay attention. Do we say do a crime? Can you answer me? Do you say do a crime? Yeah, you're beautiful. Yeshi, you're beautiful. You're awesome. Very good. You commit a crime. Do you become angry? Do you become angry? Do you become angry? You get angry. Beautiful. David, you're awesome. Keep it up. Good in English. Good in English. Think about it. Do you say he's good in English? Yeah, no. I good at English. We say good at English. He's good at English. Something is wrong there. You need to fix that. Belief over God. Is that correct? Belief. Karma. Very good. Keep it up. Yes. Believe in. This is called collocation. Are you all following the heading? This is called collocation, right? Now raise your hands. How many of you want the best books on collocation? Say, I want it. How many of you want the best books on collocations? Say, I want it. Text in the chat box, I want it. Not to the admissions office. Text to me. I wanted. No, I want. Karma, I want. Karma, that's a beautiful name. I want it, sir. I'm going to share with my people and they will share it with you. I'm going to share some beautiful resources with you through which you can learn collocation, right? Good. Listen to now guys, the last 15 minutes, actively participate. I'm going to reward you with the best material that is available to learn collocations. Now, can you all answer this slide? You can use the chat box. You have 2 minutes to answer. 1 to 6. Match the left side options numbered 1 to 6 with the right side options named A to F. You have 2 minutes time. Adhere to what? David, adhere to what? 1D. Oh, you're good. SANDIA. Can I call you Sandhya? Sandhya, very good, Sandhya. Keep it up. No, guys, don't do that. Send me all answers at once. Send me all. Robert, send me. Ali, send me all answers at once. 1D. Very good. 1D. Aros, what's the answer? Aros, very good. Aros, someone's interest. Now, can you type all at once? 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you type all at once? Guys, you're doing a fantastic job. I was told that you are above average students, but let me tell you, you're brilliant students. I don't know about mathematics, your mathematical skills, but when it comes to language classes, I've been following you. You are damn good. If you get the right material, if you do the right practice, Khadir, excellent. Keep it up, Khadir. Excellent. Sarjo, very good. Sarjo, very good. Keep it up, Sarjo. Yakub, very good. I'm really waiting and I'm excited to see you all soon in the future in the Geetham campus. I'm good to see you all. I know that your language skills are pretty good. Maybe you watch a lot of English movies, or maybe you are good readers. Keep it up. Blonde hair. So why can't I say yellow hair? What's wrong in it? You can say, but what is regularly used across the world is blonde hair, right? That's called collocation. Oh, Sarjo, my pleasure too. I know how enthusiastic and how energetic you guys are. Come up with a suggestion. Flatly contradict, diametrically opposite. Imagine you know lots of collocations. I'm going to share material with you. Imagine you learn lots of collocations and you use them in the conversations. You're going to sound awesome, trust me. When you use collocations, you sound very natural. Accent is something that's not really mandatory. It's overrated, trust me. Yeah, but you should be understood. Accent, style, that comes slowly and you don't have to really work on that. Native speakers are not, something special. They are overrated too. With practice, anyone can speak beautiful English, and especially when they learn collocations, fundamentally different. Okay, I want synonyms now. Erroneous. What's the answer? Erroneous. Error. Erroneous. Knowing words and the meanings beats accent. Exactly. I totally agree with you. Bilkisu. I totally agree with you. Knowing words, knowing how to communicate beats the accent. Accent is secondary, sure. Erroneous. By the way, am I understood easily, or are you struggling? Honestly, be honest. Are you struggling to understand me, my accent? Or is it clear? Is it okay? Yeah. Because I sometimes doubt, because we are in different countries, right? So sometimes I doubt if you can understand what I'm talking. But I take that as a wonderful compliment. Okay, yeah, most of you are sending me, yes, I can clearly understand you. Let me take that as a compliment. So erroneous, error, right? So wrong, right? So what's the next one? Erroneous error, error, and I want synonym, right? Eternal. Truths are eternal, forever. Mortal. More means death. Immortal is forever. Therefore, that's your answer. Okay. Can you answer this? Amicable is friendly. See, amicable, amiable, amity, amigo, all words start with ami are friendly. Ali is ami. Just a technique to remember. Ali is ami. Ammi is ami. Oh, I don't know if you understand the word ammi. Ammi means mom. Okay. Amicable. So I finding it difficult to change. It'll take time, Musa, but definitely you'll be better. Right? Therefore, we want opposite. No, let me explain. We are looking for antonyms. You look at the instruction here. Here, look at the instruction. I changed the instruction here, okay? Remember, key rule when you are sitting for competitive exams, rule 1, always look at the instruction. Always look at the instruction, okay? Gregarious people, do you know segregating is dividing the group, segregate. Gregarious is sociable. Let me explain this way. Okay. When I add up all the numbers, that is aggregate. When I add up all the numbers, that is aggregate, your college aggregate. Segregate is to separate. Congregate, if I congregate you all, that's to put you together, because con means together. Gregarious means very friendly. You love to be in groups. Greg means group. You love to be in groups. Therefore, the opposite is anti-social. Guys, I want you all to go to Google and search the origin of these words. Right? Let me explain. People who explored Pacific Ocean earlier thought it's a beautiful place. They thought it's a beautiful place, free from storms, very, very calm. Therefore, they named it Pacify. A pacifist is someone who doesn't believe in war. Pacifism is belief that only peace brings peace. War doesn't bring peace. A pacifier is something that calms down a baby. The word pacify means to calm down, right? Every word that you see here has an interesting origin. Do you know why people call it ambulance? Because amble means to walk. Ambulance once meant a walking hospital. Yeah, Musa, if you want, I can, Musa, yeah. Amble means walk. Listen to me very carefully. Ambulance means a walking hospital. Interesting, right? Yeah. Try means 3. How many of you know try means 3? Try, as in trigonometry. I want 5 more minutes. Please bear with me. I want 5 more minutes. Sir, do you hear me? Sir? Okay, fine. Let me continue.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking 5 more minutes,
but
please.
I think Suryam sir should.
Yeah, I understand. I can talk to Suryam sir. Don't worry.
Okay.
I need 5 more minutes.
Let him continue. Continue, sir.
Yeah, Suryam. Thank you. Guys, tri means 3. Do you know trigonometry? Trigonometry, right? Tri means 3. Via, do you know via South Africa, via Namibia, via London? Via means through. Okay. Via India. The flight goes via Namibia. So trivial. In Rome, Cosmos. In Rome, there used to be 3 routes, okay? 3 roads, major roads. Do you all understand that? I'm trying to draw a road map, a road. In Rome. Yeah, it can mean. Via means by. Okay. Now see. In Rome, there used to be 3, I said try, right? In Rome, there used to be 3 major roads, and this was the common point. So long back in Rome, trivial means a common point. But after all these years, the word has changed its meaning. Why do you worry about such a trivial thing, such a common thing? Why do you worry about such a trivial thing, such a common thing? Trivial. Now, do you understand the meaning, or shall I repeat? Why do you worry about such a trivial thing? Meaning, why do you worry about such a common thing? Right? So I request you all to check the origin of these words. They're very, very interesting. Okay. Now, can you answer this? We are closing the session. Yeah, that's beautiful. Someone has posted me the meaning of the word quarantine. Excellent. Very good. Can you answer this quiz? Last 2 questions. Can you answer this? What's the answer? Can you all answer before we wind this up? Can you all quickly? Yeah, very good. Now, can you answer this? Do you all see my screen? Can you answer this? Very good. Keep it up. I see you all perfect. Can you answer this? A collocation. Can you answer this? Fantastic. Excellent. Can you answer this? Can you answer this? Very good. Etymology is studying the origin of the word. Fantastic. Now, this is the last slide, okay? Can you answer this quickly? For example, a broad accent. We can say broad smile. We can say in broad agreement. See, a word can be used more than once. Now, can you answer the rest? Can you? A picturesque location. Right? A picturesque town, meaning it looks beautiful. Go to Google, type picturesque and see images. In the interest of time, I'm not getting into details. Go to Google, type picturesque, see images. Deliriously happy, extremely, like madly happy. Right? Deliriously happy. I repeat, deliriously happy. Okay. A burn hair, like blonde hair, we say a burn hair. Right? I'm teaching you, I'm practicing you, I'm getting you some practice with collocation here. Right? Next, mitigating factors. Mitigating circumstances. See, there is some evidence against you. That says you're a criminal. But when I show you certain circumstances, when I show you certain factors, that reduces the impact of the criminal charges. I repeat, there are some evidences against you, criminal charges against you. Now, what do? You show some circumstances. They weaken the evidence. They are called mitigating circumstances or mitigating fact. Mitigating means to lessen, to weaken. Okay. You adjourn a meeting. 9th here. You adjourn a meeting. 9th. Right? Did I leave anything? Did I leave anything? You adjourn a trail. You adjourn a trail, right? So can I call it a day? I'm going to reach you. I'm not going to leave any questions unanswered. I'm going to reach you for sure. Any questions? I'm going to share these resources with you. Don't worry. Please don't miss my YouTube video, my previous vocabulary video, right? Will you all watch? Can I end this session? Will you all watch my vocabulary video? Go to Geetam channel, watch my vocabulary video. I'm sure if you watch it, you will become an autonomous learner. I cannot travel with you all the time, and neither can you nor I can travel with one another, right? Therefore, watch those videos and look at the resources that I'm sharing. Therefore, you will become an autonomous learner. Okay? Sure, Musa. Okay, then. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Take care. Stay safe, right? Bye.